The year of 2023 was absolutely insane for CS2 investing. We saw so many massive profits throughout the year, and even though we saw a peak come from the CS2 release, a lot of these were consistently gaining throughout the year, and therefore that makes them a significantly better investment than the ones that were just pumped up by the hype. But today we're going to be breaking down my top 5 investments for heading into 2024 throughout the entire year. This is not a short-term analysis, this is a long-term analysis, and we're going to be breaking that down and looking at some data of the past years and what we think is going to be happening for the future. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now, the first thing on my list is going to be skins from older cases and collections. Honestly, I think this is a really similar to a hidden gem kind of investment because a lot of people aren't looking at these. If we want to look at something like the Wildfire case, obviously it's seen some pretty massive growth, but focus in on the skins inside of it. The skins inside of it have also seen some pretty massive growth, and that's for a couple different reasons. One, it's a little bit of an older case, but two, it's not being unboxed a ton, and three, the skins are used for trade up. That makes a lot of these skins in a very strong potential to go ahead and increase in price rather quickly. And it's not just exclusive to the Wildfire case, it's going to be continuing out to more cases down the line, especially considering we're seeing a lot of these rare older cases not being unboxed at anywhere close to the rate they used to be. Therefore, the skins are going to be a little bit harder to get. Therefore, the amount of supply out there is theoretically going to go down, leaving a huge opportunity for profit in this area if that's something you want to go into. Obviously, it's not going to be as amazing profit most likely as some of these cases or capsules, but I think it's definitely an option for a lot of people that want a little bit of a diversification, but they're also looking for something that's going to be a massive gainer as well. A lot of these skins have huge potentials behind them in my personal opinion. The biggest thing about this though is you need to be careful. You need to be buying into skins from cases that are not unboxed a ton, so check out unboxing numbers and see where specifically a case lies before you go ahead and buy into the skins inside of it. Second up on our list is going to be stickers that have no borderless alternatives that are unique, specifically focusing on probably Antwerp or Paris here, just because those are going to be your cheaper options. Stockholm's a little bit too expensive, but focusing in here on Paris specifically, we can see that 9 different stickers do have the option for currently having no borderless alternatives out there. Now with that being said, that doesn't just make them an instant amazing investment. You definitely have to look a little bit further than this. We have data to support this, and as you can see, it ranges significantly from capsule and stickers alike. You can see that OG has a terrible glitter application, but it's got a very high hollow application, so that definitely could play into your decision making. You can see all of the stickers here though. Now the reason we're looking into this specifically is because if we want to go back to Antwerp, we can see that the stickers that ended up performing the best is going to be the ones that had no borderless alternatives out there. You can look at Imperial, you can look at Eternal Fire, so many of them out there had amazing growth, but it was the ones that had no borderless alternatives. The one that had alternatives usually ended up doing a lot less good. Now looking at the Antwerp data here, the one big thing I want to point out is you should definitely not just be looking at application rates. Application rates are important, but they're not the end all be all. Looking at the challenges capsules here, you can see that G2 tops the list for both glitters and hollows for Antwerp application rates, but it's not going to be a perfect investment just because we know it's got a lot of borderless alternatives out there. Same with MIBR, it's got no borderless alternatives out there, but yet it hasn't seen the same amount of growth we have seen from something like Imperial, which is at the bottom of said hollow list. Now number 3 on our list has to go to cases. Cases are going to be such a dominant force in 2024 because they were already such a dominant force in 2023, and we're just going to see things heat up, especially for the rare cases. But I'm also going to go ahead and include the Snakebite case in here because I think definitely in 2024 the Snakebite case is going to go, and I think if you should just watch it for the next couple of months and it gets down to a super cheap price point, it could be an option to go ahead and pick some up. Talking about the rare cases though, I think there's going to be a significant amount of growth in this area, and especially if you want to look at unboxing numbers, they've been such a dominant force already. I definitely think you should be specifically picking up some of the ones you like though. Don't just pick up every case all across the board. They're not created equally, and therefore you definitely should be looking into each case specifically, which ones have a decent ROI, which ones have a lot more desirable rare special finish, and therefore you should definitely be making sure that it's your investment and not specifically mine or anyone else's, because at the end of the day it's going to be either solely your profit or solely your loss. No one is sharing it with you. Number 4 on the list is going to be the Paris capsules. Now let's talk about Paris capsules for a quick second. Obviously there is a massive supply out there, but when we're talking about a 1-year period, it's a very quick turnaround for a lot of these capsules. As soon as they start getting a little bit of momentum and the supply starts to dwindle because people are continually opening them, they can turn out to be a pretty profitable investment. Take Antwerp for example. Obviously the capsules were down to maybe 15-20 cents at a certain period of time, and yet all of them have seen some pretty massive profits. Now it's not going to happen overnight, but over a 1-year period there is so many unboxings taking place, especially if we don't see any brand new content. I think there's definitely a strong possibility we're going to be seeing a lot of these Paris capsules in a much more desirable position than they are right now. This is talking at the end of 2024. Now the growth is probably not going to happen overnight, but relatively speaking, these capsules are in a pretty okay situation. I think they've been a little bit too hard harshly prematurely judge because everyone wants easy profit, and when they're not that, they kind of write them off. It's definitely going to come down to Copenhagen though. Obviously, if we see Copenhagen borderless stickers, it's going to be a struggle, but if we see Copenhagen bordered stickers, I think there's definitely an opportunity to see a Paris run right there. Now, this category also includes the Antwerp and Stockholm capsules. If that's something you want to go into, those are definitely going to be a little bit more of a stable investment. They're not going to see as much profit, but I think they're a great alternative if you're wanting some borderless capsules and you don't want to have the risk that Paris capsules do hold in the short term here, especially over the long term. Those are probably going to grow as well. Now, number 5 on my list is going to go to hidden gems / operation items. I think definitely in 2024, we're going to be receiving a load of new content, and with new content brings so many different investment opportunities. The best investments have proven to be the ones that are a little bit underinvested but have a significant amount of demand. A lot of operation items end up falling into this area, whether that's agents, whether that's stickers, or whether that's just the random little bits and pieces that come along with an operation. Obviously, you're going to have to take it play by play with this area, but I think there's so much potential in this area because it's so underdeveloped. So many of these end up going underinvested into until way after the operation is finished, and therefore the supply has already been cut off, and theoretically you already have a stock load of these items sitting around. Now, unfortunately, not every item that comes from an operation is going to end up being a massive profit success, but so many of them actually do, and therefore I think it's definitely worthwhile to at least have some options of what you might want to sell so you can go ahead and invest into operation items. There's so much profit in this area, and I'm legitimately sad because we haven't seen one in so long that other areas are starting to be impacted. After that, I've got my top 5 worst items. Number 1 is going to be hype items. Because CS2 is in the developmental phase, a lot of items are still continually changing, and this is going to be a great option for you to go ahead and avoid all of these. None of these are probably going to end up being good investments, and it's a very strong risk, and it's more so gambling rather than investing trying to pick up these items. Number 2 is going to be souvenir packages. Souvenir packages are absolutely atrocious in pretty much all the forms that they come in. Usually they're completely repeating every single major. Second of all, they're usually having zero demand afterwards, and third of all, they're extremely expensive at a $3 minimum price point. All of these are going to be more expensive than I would want to spend on an investment that's going to do nothing. Number 3 is going to be brand new skins or skins that are inside of active duty cases. Usually when a skin is inside of an active duty case, it's going to be continually decreasing year after year. As long as it's still an active duty case, the skins inside of it are going to suck and they're going to be terrible investments. These are not investments, these are just throwing your money away in my personal opinion. And to go along with that, active duty cases are going to be number 4 on this list. Now, we had the Snakebite earlier. That's a little bit of a different situation because it's so cheap, but these are going to be all of your active duty cases except the ones that you think maybe slightly have a potential to get removed. Honestly, I just avoid the active duty cases pretty much in general unless I'm taking a one-off shot like the Snakebite. Usually they're just way too expensive and they're constantly being dropped. And number 5 is going to be RMR. Honestly, RMR is like a dead man walking. I don't know why anyone would be investing into RMR. We've got so many better sticker options out there, and honestly, RMR is just kind of iffy. It's got such a long track record of being a terrible investment. The stickers still look terrible. They're ranked constantly near the bottom. I would just completely avoid this in my current opinion. But that's all I got. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.